So this is why I have this channel. This channel is for me to get my ideas out. And if it helps people, that's awesome. But I have this channel because I want to have a space to express. And I was just doing a live chat, and I was getting to an interesting point for me to recall. And my daughter started bickering, and you can watch how I handled that. And they continued, and then I fulfilled my word, and I went back and talked to them again, and I set them, and I said, if one more thing happens, this is the consequence that I will fulfill. So they know that when I say, if I hear one more thing, they do not get to continue watching the Bible story cartoon that is really nicely done that I approve of. They don't get to watch it because of them fighting with each other, because I don't give my children screens I don't let my children watch a screen except on weekends. And that's like yesterday was about total, I got about 5 hours. And I was cooking in the kitchen so I could hear, like, I always look at what they're doing, but I also like to interact. So if they put on music and start dancing, I'll come over and dance. But I have and continue to do, I have spoken to my children about my thoughts about the internet and about what is behind this effort to take our attention away from what's right in front of us, right? I have this beautiful cow pasture here, this beautiful nature, and replace it with a screen in front of you. And then that screen has a camera, and you can be an Instagram person and be taking pictures of yourself all the time, which my daughter is wonderful. We laugh at when we see women at pools or at the beach, and they're like taking the video and the selfies. And I'm so happy that they both get that that's narcissism, and it is frowned upon by God and by a lot of people. And I believe our attention should be outward, and it's nice to look pretty. And I certainly would like to look better than worse on camera, right? Like, that's nature, but it's not a great part of nature. The most important part of our human nature should be feeling good inside, and yeah, looking good, that your skin's good and all of that, but not obsessing about the things we do. Like, do my teeth work should be more important on how they look, which is a really hard one. I have a ceramic on my teeth. My teeth are not this white naturally, and actually they're now already stained again. But I stopped my coffee in October of last year, but I recognize this ceramic is not a natural fiber. I don't really want to know too much about it, but I do know that it's a synthetic ceramic, whatever. But this is what I got, and I've done it, and I made the commitment. So I'm doing my best to make everything else about me non-artificial. My hair is artificial. I did speak with a beautiful, beautiful hairdresser that God put in my life. Amen. On Friday, I met her last week at a homeschooling event. Then I met her again at a church event on Friday with the girls, which was beautiful. And she is a hairdresser, and she does it at your house, which is, but as a friend, she was like, she's great. And that's the future, right? That's the future that we can. I made butter yesterday. It's this much, but I made it, and it's delicious. And I'm getting my butter. This is the third time that I've made butter, but successfully second, because that last time did not come out the consistency it should have, and I have to admit that. But this time, so what's the secret about butter? I'm doing this for me. I know no one's there, but maybe someday someone will watch this. Here's butter. Has to be from raw milk. With the butter, it seems that it has to come out of the refrigerator, or it has to be in cold weather. You've got to have that temperature. Like in Bogota, I could have done what I did on the counter because it's like 55, 60 degrees year round in Bogota, Colombia. And it's at 1.5 miles above sea level. And it's beautiful. It's like the temperature is like a refrigerator. So yeah, I could make my milk there, excuse me, my butter there easy with raw milk, leaving it on the counter. And I'm no expert, okay? That I've had 2 out of 3 successes is great. But what I do want to say is what I experienced yesterday, I did it so that I would be able to explain it to you easily and not in an intimidating way, which is the way that I've learned things best. So, raw milk, if you're in hot weather like I am in Florida, you leave it in the fridge, let's say 24 hours, and you have one of those milk jugs. I can show you. I should show you because there's no one here anyway, so I'm just talking to myself, and this is for the future. All right. Yes. This is where my chain's going. Recording things for me, for my children. Because I tell them, but I don't think they're always listening. Like most people, we kind of, like most of us, we don't generally listen well. And we have to hear it a few times until we decide we need it. This is my salt water that I drink in the morning. I put a lot more in today. And so I'll probably drink the rest of this by noon, or I won't drink the rest of it. But I put a bit of pure, unprocessed salt in water. Oh, and I put a little orange juice, a little teeny bit of orange juice, because that's what I did in Colombia when I was at the beach for almost a month, which was amazing, and I'm very blessed. I did salt in the orange juice that was squeezed fresh. And I loved it, first of all, but I thought this is too good. It's got to be a little bit more astringent, but I kept having it, and I got back and people said I'd lost weight, and I didn't feel like I'd lost weight. I was eating and drinking, and I mean, I'm pretty careful about what I put in my body, but I've also we're all surrounded by these poisons, so I end up eating what's out there. I do pray over my food when it's not the food. Oh, I pray over all your food, but when you're out and you know you're eating processed chemical junk, just pray over it. Anything that's got coloring in it is bad, creates cancer. Anything with the coloring. So here we have, this is a bottle that I recommend, and I've only made it twice, and we're going to see the result right now. Which was very little, but it tastes great. So I don't care. When you see it and you laugh at me, that's okay, but it tasted great, and I'm very proud. I'm a little nervous. Okay, so this is, you can see and these are my nails from the salt, okay, that I just used. So you may be able to see my salt is black, gray. This is the line of the cream, okay? So when you have this kind of a jar, you want to get, I just got, dun, dun, dun. So I just got this wood ware. Isn't this great? Can you see that? Isn't that wonderful? I did, I don't know, about 24-minute investigation as far as I was going to go, and had the motivation and the debit card ready. No credit. Don't ever do things on credit unless you know the person that you're getting the credit from. And you can see them so that you never, ever think of ever even defaulting on that credit. Yes? Yeah, we're going to go in about 20 minutes.
Church, okay.
We're going to church. Okay. How exciting. Okay, so here we have. So I take this. This is called cow's milk. Have it in the fridge within 24 hours. If it's fresh, whatever, you'll see. What you want is this head on it. You take this head, and then you put your hand, you mark it with your hand, and then you scoop out the cream. Now, what I learned is I need a ladle. I need a skinny wooden ladle. That'll work better. To dip in here and then just take out the cream. Then I also learned, as I was going through this process yesterday, that I don't like to use metal. And that, thank you, Tracy, my beautiful neighbor Tracy, told me, and also Carolyn told me when we traveled and when I went to see her in California last year in 2023, I never knew what that little spindle was for honey, the wooden one. I was like, what's that? And someone said to me the other day, we're like, yeah, it was like just trying to be fancy. But no, so when I was in California, she's like, oh yeah, Victoria, you can't. So I bought my first wooden, what is that called? Honey thing. And I gave that, and I left that in Colombia, in my kitchen in Colombia. So that's when I understood that. But then I got here, I'm back in Florida, and I forgot about it. And I'm like taking a spoon out and and I was like, oh. So my friend Tracy was like, I bought you these. And she gave me 2 little wooden spoons. And that kicked me into, damn it, I've just got to do it. So, because in France, when I was in France recently, I know, very, very blessed. I've been traveling. God is great. But it can happen to you. It's just abundance. It's just putting out there what you want and know is possible, because God blesses those who live and seek and speak truth. That's what his message was. So that's what I'm seeking in making my milk butter products for me and for you, if this helps. Okay, so once you do that and you get your little wooden ideal ladle, or you get a wider mouth bowl, whatever, but you want to use wood or some kind of a natural fiber when interacting with this glorious, beautiful product of a cow that, remember, I have cows in front of me. This is the cow pasture. So I watch beautiful cows living a great life under the sun, laying in the sun, sometimes in the shade, sometimes in the sun, eating their grass with no pesticides, loving their life. And then they make a baby, and then they make milk that came from this great, beautiful, sunny pasture, and they're friends. They're in a herd. They're not stressed out. Life is great. This is gold, this milk. So I want to use it in every iteration I can. I'm not throwing any part of it away. I'm experimenting. So then this is the part that I was just felt overwhelmed on. All you do is, you churn, spin, you churn, shake, or whip the butter. Whip this cream, okay? So I thought, well, I had done the shaking, and that's what worked on my first time so well. But it was hard. And it was like 15 minutes. It was long. It wasn't like light. You had to keep, but I was like, I'm going to do this. And actually it ended up being less. And that's the thing. How do they know how long it's going to be? Look at the different characteristics of temperature, or the different characteristics of how long you left the cream out. I don't know. But anyway, it's an eye thing, right? That's what I'm learning. Just like it is with seeing the cream. It's your eye. It's learning like what things look like. That's why I'm keeping this here. So maybe this can help. Okay. And again, I don't know and you comment. If I'm wrong, go right ahead and tell me how to do this easier. But I'm trying to make it really easy and tell you the reasons why I was having a hard time coming to this. So in the videos that for making butter, they show you metal blenders. And it just like feels wrong to me to use metal on this milk. It's now that I've gotten all my wood utensils, I don't want any metal around me. And I'm just theorizing it, but it just seems really makes sense to me right now. So I have a glass, which I can show you when I take this back, I'll bring it. It's just a glass container, not Pyrex, just glass. It does have a plastic top, which I learned that's not a good idea because then the butter gets in it. But then I licked it up with bread. It was delicious. But you shake it. So I shaked it and shaked it and shaked it and shaked it and shaked it. And then I just was like, oh, yeah, common sense. What happens? So that cream, this thick thing you see here, this is like perfect. Because this is going to be my second cream. This is going to be my next butter. Because I only did part of it. Because I wanted to experiment in sizes. And you'll see it's very little. And then this, what happens is it's that cream from the shaking, the liquid comes out and then it comes together like a butter ball, right? That's what that is. Or it starts glomming together. I'm sorry, I don't really have the vocabulary. And then after you shake it, you put it in this wonderful doodad. Oh, there it is, girls, my butter. It came out great. Here is my butter. La, la, la. Oh, and I put my salt in it. I put my Colombian Zipaquira salt. Wow. Graciela, you have butter for the bread. Because this morning she goes, Mom, there's no more butter. And I said, that's what I'm forcing myself to do. All right, folks, that was it. Put it in the fridge. If you're in a cooler climate, this thing is amazing. Have you ever seen this? Look it up. It's a butter thing. So the moment that was most confusing for me to understand was, how do you know the consistency? Okay, we'll just think about butter. Because think about how you like your butter. And I like mine whipped. And now that I put it in the fridge, oh my gosh. And it expanded. So that's interesting to think about. So that's that. That's what I wanted to show you about this amazing journey I'm on to make as many things as I can at home. Okay, we are off to church, and we're going to do a little bit of schoolwork before church, and then maybe I'll get on later on today. This helped me a lot to share this information. And if you see me around town, if you watch this channel, please come. Let's talk about this if you have a better way to do it. But I am so excited. Yay.